Welcome to the tutorial. Know about electrical panel and maintenance. Electrical panel. Part 14. Control system explained. In the last part, we learned about the important usual components that using in the control circuit of the electrical panels. There are many other components also using in the field in the stream of a control system. Here given some components that are using in the field related to controls. Limit switches. A limit switch is using to control the moving of the equipment. For example, motor-operated equipment needs control to stop and start when it reaches a predetermined duration or destination. There have fixed a limit switch to control the power of the motor for the requirement. If a room light to be off when the door is fully closed, there uses a limit switch at the door for these purposes. All types of limit switches have two positions such as normally closed and normally open to connect and reconnect the power to the equipment. Details of different types of switches are given here. Limit switch for door. This switch is used to operate a device control with the door open and close. Limit switch for moving machine. This is used to control the movement of a moving device. Limit switch for pressure control. This switch is used to control the equipment which is operating under pressure. Foot switch. Single operation foot switch for on-off and the acceleration of equipment. Foot switch for double operations such as forward and reverse movement and on-off as well. In this part, we have to go through the details of controls and their working method. It is very important that to get general knowledge regarding the design is about the control system prior to going through the portions. Here I am describing how a control circuit is designing according to the requirement. Every control circuit has individual logic and it would be the route map for the preparation of a control. First of all, we will start with a control circuit with simple logic which is commonly used many places. The system with simple control logic. One motor needs control to do the start and stop. This is called direct online starter. Here you can see the power supply. Control station contains on, off push switches and a contactor and a motor. The off push button will be NC and NO is used in the on push button switch. An additional NO contact from the contactor is provided parallel to the on push button. This additional contact is required to provide continuous power to the motor through the contactor. If this auxiliary connection is not used, the contactor will not hold continuously. Let us see how it works with the circuit given here. The control voltage passes through 21 and 22 of the stop push switch without any interruption because it is normally closed contact. When the on push switch is pushed, the power supply passes 14 and 13 and reaches A1 on the contactor to energize contactor KM1. A2 of the contactor is already connected to the neutral. The contactor will come in open position if you release the on push switch because the switch will be back to NO and thus power between 14 and 13 will be stopped. That means the motor shall be in run position only if the on switch shall be kept in the pressed position. As this is not applicable, to solve this issue we have to provide an additional connection through the NO contact of the same contactor parallel to the on push switch to bypass the power. The additional NO contact becomes close at the same time when the contactor closes. The control power to the contactor will be available through the additional contact and the contactor remain closed until the off push switch is pressed. This is only a simple control system for the motors. This is using in the simple starter, which is called a direct online starter, to operate the motor. Next part, we will be learning about the interlocks provided in the circuit for the automatic operation of equipment in the field. End of part 14. We will continue the control system tutorial in the next part. Thank you for watching the tutorial. Subscribe to the channel to get updates and more videos.